The house had been so quiet lately it felt unnatural, like all the noise and life had been drained out of it. Even with both of us here, the silence was thick, heavy with unspoken grief. My brother, Ryan, and I had always been close, more like best friends than siblings. We had faced every challenge together, always side by side. So it was almost fitting, in a sad way, that we were both here now, nursing broken hearts after relationships we thought would last forever. Mine ended first. I remember walking into the house that night, numb and detached from everything. My keys hit the counter with a sharp clang as I shuffled to the couch, sinking into it like I was carrying the weight of the world. My eyes stared blankly at the ceiling while the silence pressed in on me. "It's over," I whispered, my voice barely audible, thick with tears I couldn't let fall. Ryan didn't ask questions. He just sat next to me, his arms slipping around my shoulders. I leaned into him, resting my head against him, just like I used to when we were kids. His steady presence felt like a lifeline. "It's okay," he said softly, his voice calm and soothing. I knew he was hurting too, though he didn't talk about his own breakup. He had ended it, but the pain was written all over his face, in the way he avoided eye contact, the way his thoughts drifted elsewhere. We sat like that for a long time, watching the golden light of the evening fade into shadows. I felt his arm tighten around me slightly, a small gesture that said so much. It was comforting, but it also stirred something unexpected, something I couldn't name. Over the next few days, we fell into a quiet rhythm. We didn't talk about our breakups. Instead, we watched old movies, ate junk food, and laughed over silly things. One gray afternoon, we went for a walk to clear our heads. I told a funny story from when we were kids, and Ryan laughed. But when I looked up, his gaze was fixed on me, intense in a way I wasn't used to. It sent a shiver down my spine. "What?" I asked nervously, forcing a smile. "Nothing," he said quickly, looking away. Then softer, "It's just good to see you smile again." His words were loaded with meaning, though I didn't know how to process them. That night, after a bottle of wine and shared laughter, we found ourselves sitting too close on the couch. The air felt charged, heavy with something unspoken. Before I could stop myself, I leaned in and kissed him. It was soft, tentative, like testing the waters. I braced myself for him to pull away, but he didn't. He kissed me back, his hand finding its way into my hair. The world around us blurred, leaving only the electricity between us. When we finally pulled apart, I was trembling. "What are we doing?" I whispered, my voice shaking. "I don't know," Ryan said, his voice thick with emotion, "but I don't want to stop." Heart beat against mine and let sleep pull me back under. Wrapped in the security of his arms, I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time. Peace, or so I thought. Now to Mom, who had been away for a few weeks, visiting Dad in another state. Ryan and I thought we had time to figure things out before facing her. When morning came, I knew reality would rush back in. The questions, the doubts, the weight of everything we had done would crash over us, demanding answers. But right now, as the soft light of dawn began to peek through the blinds, it wasn't just us, but Mom's unexpected arrival that morning that changed everything. It was early in the morning, the house still bathed in soft shadows. I was slipping out of Ryan's room, trying to move quietly, but when I opened the door, Mom was standing in the hallway, suitcase in hand, her face frozen in shock. She didn't say a word at first, her eyes darting between me and the slightly ajar door behind me. I felt my stomach drop. My mouth opened, but no sound came out. Ryan appeared in the doorway a second later, and the realization on her face was immediate. "What's going on?" she asked, her voice calm but trembling with the weight of the question. Neither of us answered. The silence stretched on, heavy and suffocating. Finally, I took a shaky breath and said, "We need to talk." We sat down in the living room, the three of us, as the truth spilled out. Ryan and I told her everything, our heartbreaks, the blurred lines, the confusion we hadn't been able to untangle on our own. We braced ourselves for her anger and disappointment, but instead her face softened. etched with a deep concern I hadn't expected. "This is bigger than either of you realize," she said gently. "You need help to work through this." Her words were like a lifeline, cutting through the haze of guilt and confusion. She wasn't condemning us. She was guiding us, showing us a way forward. And she was right. Therapy within a close, supportive group of people with different episodes of heartbreaks, challenges similar to ours, became our saving grace. It helped us unpack the emotions to see how our pain and loneliness had driven us to seek solace in each other in ways that weren't healthy or sustainable. Slowly, we found our way back to being siblings, to rebuilding our bond in a healthy way. There were moments of relapse, fleeting touches or glances that brought back feelings we were still learning to control, but the tools we gained in therapy gave us a path forward. Each step was difficult, but it brought clarity and healing. Mom was our anchor through it all. She sought guidance of her own, learning how to support us with love and patience. Her unwavering presence made all the difference. She never shamed us or turned away. Instead, she reminded us that love can heal, but it needs boundaries to thrive. Today, Ryan and I are closer than ever, but in the right way. We've learned that even the deepest pain can be healed with honesty, support, and understanding. And while the journey wasn't easy, it taught us the value of facing the truth and finding strength in each other. Mom always said, "Families go through storms, but storms don't last forever. What matters is how we grow after the rain." And she was right. We grew and we came out stronger. Please drop in the comments section how you think they would have stopped this or why it all happened.
Thank you for staying with us. See you in our next video as we journey into unraveling and learning from life stories of infidelities and heartbreaks.